So after a years of what have you, injuries and what have you, Dembele has soared high above so many persons' expectation and has now been crowned the winner of the 2025-2026 Ballon d'Or. All right, and he left Barcelona as somebody who was prone to injury and went to Paris Saint-Germain and became the top striker, and a whole lot of things happened within the last season up to now, making him to be the number one contender and the winner of this international award. Viewers, we're now in the world of sports, and we'll be looking at a few of the stories that cuts across all forms of sports, basketball, championships, and what have you. But I won't be doing that alone this morning. I have with me in the studio my co-anchor, Mr. Godwin. Mr. Godwin, welcome to this edition.
Thank you so much, Ebuka. You know, when it comes to sports, there's this smile I always have on my face because it's a time where I and Comrade Soko, I also and Bolu will not have to throw political banters, but these are times where issues that we would be discussing would be based on individual performance, team performance, and how all of this put together ensures that people succeed both as a team and as individuals. And this is what we do at every time we call for the sports session of the non-streaming show. And it's nice doing this with you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Godwin, and welcome to the show again. And also today we have with us on the show again Mr. Bolu. Bolu, welcome to the show this morning.
Good morning. Thank you, Bukai. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right. So and we'll have joined us all the way from Delta State, our regular guest, Comrade Abraham Soko. Comrade Abraham Soko, good morning and welcome to the Now Streaming Spot this morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Ebuka. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to discuss sports. You know, sports have a way of actually uniting us, bringing us together. So it's my favorite segment of the show. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So, Comrade Abraham, what sports team jersey are you putting on? I see you're wearing a very beautiful. Looks like we're all wearing the same color of jerseys. We're all wearing the same color of jerseys here.
Yeah, it's almost the same club. It looks like the blue of Manchester.
Yeah.
And but it's not. It's actually a customized jersey from by Delso Secondary School Alumni Association. Wow. So this is our customized jersey. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. We'll have join us later on the show Dr. Edesiru Izu. He's also a sports commentator. Viewers, before we begin the discussion on the world of sports, let's take a look at the front page of the Sports Extra. And the front page there says, the lead story there says, slow starts. The kicker says Nigerians in Europe endure tough 2025-2026 season amid club changes, injuries, and bench rules. All right, that's on page 7 of the Punch Sports Extra. All right, so above the masthead we have the story on Atlanta won't sell Lookman soon. That's on page 6. Page 6 also has a story on Osimhen still in pain, Gala coach. I know that when he went on a national assignment for the World Cup qualifier. Just beside the masthead we have cheaper coach hints at Nwabali's exit. That's also on page 6 of the Punch Sports Extra. Just below the lead story we have the story on Ghana ahead Nigeria for Joshua's clash in Africa. All right, that's on page 2. Page 2 also has a story on Hooper's coach targets NBPL playoffs. All right, and page 5 has the story on Carragher wants Nico at Liverpool, and Arsenal plots 100 million Vid's move. All right, and fans probe Chelsea's ticket hike. That's the on page 5 of the Punch Sports Extra. Okay, page 3 has a story on Baka I Miano on that's at what's it called, Manchester United player, beg your pardon. And last on page 6 we have Brugge open to Onyedika's January exit. All right, that's on the Punch Sports Extra. So let's begin with you, Comrade Abraham Soko, and We want to talk about the 500 million boost for Nigerian second tier league as NLL signs bet power deal. What do you think? I think this is the highest I've ever heard in the Nigerian sporting realm, where we have such a huge amount for sponsorship to the national league. What have you had to say about this?
Yeah, thank you very, very much, Mr. Ibuka. I think that's actually a step in the right direction because I think it's high time where we get what we call this PPE, which I think is a public-private partnership when it comes to our sports development. And with this sponsorship to the NNL, I think it's going to actually help bring this NNL into the limelight. So I think this is what we actually need. And no, recently, let me deviate a little. Recently, we had issues with our kids in the World Championship games in the athletics, and we are trying to compare kids. We saw what the US got, we saw what the UK got, and we saw what Nigeria got. I believe personally we needed to get an improved kit. What we got was really, really poor. But the reason why some of these countries, the Western countries, are able to get what they have is because of this PPE. They had lots of sponsors. You see sports giants like Nike, Puma, Adidas actually sponsoring some of these things. So I think we have gotten to that level in our sports development where we have to now appeal not just to top tier sponsors. I'm talking about top tier sponsors, and I believe that we have these in the country. We have these firms, we have these companies that can actually go into partnership with our federations, and it's also the onus is also on the federations to actually to adequately utilize these funds. We don't want a situation of which we have had it in the past where this 500 million will be embezzled. I believe that we need to be more accountable. We need to be more transparent in actually disbursing these amounts and making sure that we do the right thing for the league. So it's a good one. It's a good step in the right direction, Mr. Ebuka. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Comrade Abraham Soko. So, do you think this 500 million is for the players, the trophies, and the award, or do you feel that it should be channeled to facilities, like probably making sure that the officiating is done properly? Because most of the times, what we complain about in our local matches is poor officiating, and we still lack a VAR in our national league. We don't have all those facilities. What's your thoughts on how the money should be spent?
Yeah. Thank you very, very much. To be very, very honest, if I say all the 500 million should be utilized for, I don't think that the 500 million is enough, because when it comes to it's almost like we are lacking in all areas. When it comes to infrastructures, when it comes to equipment, when it comes to even kits, we are lacking in these areas. But as I said, it is a step in the right direction. I think when it even comes to advertising, when it comes to media exposure, because how many places even go to watch our own league? I'm talking about the LPL league now. How much visibility does it really have? So what I would want to say is that I think that they should actually channel these funds into the critical areas first. If providing the infrastructures that is improving the pitches, if these are the critical areas to improve the NLL league, I think this is where should get priority when it comes to the disbursement of these funds. So I think that they should actually try to impact on the critical areas first. Then later on, when we get more sponsors, when we get more exposures, we can actually try and develop the other areas of our NNL league. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much, Comrade Soko. Ebuka, just to add, because I was just going through one of the sport bulletin that read out the story, and it clearly states how this money would be clearly expended. For me, I would want to say that what gives me the most joy is that it seems as though it is, do I use the word player focused? Because it would be player oriented. Because from what I'm reading here, it says, unlike traditional sponsorship, there are rarely trickle downs to players. That this initiative puts athletes at the center with an automated digital platform that tracks and verifies lineup. Every winning player in the NNL will receive 56,000 naira directly to their mobile money wallet within minutes of the final whistle. In addition, the league itself will earn 400,000 for every match played each weekend, a dual boost for both player and the NLL. So with this breakdown, I think it is player focus, it is club focus, and looking at infrastructure, I think those coming to do this sponsorship, if you look at it critically, they are not really looking at the infrastructure per se. To them, they might feel ours is to look at the player, look at the club. It is the federation, the government that should handle all of those bigger issues you get. So for me, I would want to say kudos to Bet Powers for bringing our athlete first, because if you look, these are critical things. These are, for me, the missing link so far when it comes to athletics issues in Nigeria. Imagine all that transpired in the previous competition that have passed, just like Komresoko is just raising issues as regards to the kits that these athletes use. So for these things like this is for me a good motivation for all of the Nigerian athletes.
All right, thank you so much, my co-anchor. So I want to welcome Dr. Edesiri Izu, and we want to also find out from you, what do you think in regards to Bet Pass generosity to the NLL, and want to also find out from you, do you think other organizations should join suit, or should it just be only Bet Power that should be doing this sponsorship?
Good morning, my company team there. I believe you can hear me. Good morning, Nigerians. I want to apologize for joining a bit late. I'm somewhere in Nasarawa State, so I was trying to get the connectivity right. So good morning to everybody, including my co-guest, Komresoko, who has joined us this already. I'm happy that Bet Power has joined, and what's even more interesting is that most times when we see partners, we receive them for the Premier League, the big boys. So for them to go to the NNL of this time, it's a plus for our league, because the shows are going to contribute to grassroots development. However, to your question of if more people should join, of course, the more the merrier, that's how they say. And 500 million is almost like a child play, because you already when Komresoko was saying if we begin to list all that is put more into that 500 million will never go up to 110. And so, yes, we need more people. If God can even use and let Bet Power increase their offer from 500 million to maybe 1 million, we can start. And then we can start taking. Now, but I want to also permit you to begin the deal to address the point that Komresoko talked about, which is you need to appeal to sponsor. I want to correcting you. I want to just add to what he said, that you don't appeal to sponsor. You market yourself as sponsor. By your performance, you are thank sponsor. For example, Brazil doesn't need to go and tell Nike to come and order. Nothing concerning Brazil, what's the name of that company that supplied our athletes? DHT or something that people should be as the marketing what they use for food and nutrition practical. You know, so you see those countries that Nike, Adidas, Puma, you know, they are falling on by Adidas that will give you 1 billion, Nike can give you 5 billion. It is because of number one, performance of the athletes. You don't expect Nike and Adidas to come and sponsor you, and then you have one athlete finish in a medal position throughout an entire tournament. It's a waste of their sponsorship, because what they do is exposure. So the more of the athletes get to the final, the more their product gets visibility, because most people don't watch the gigs. Most people don't watch the finals, they watch. So the more you go far in tournament, the more your athletes perform in athletes, and people go back and play the ball and the rest. So if you are the type that always gets knocked out, first round, second round, you will not be getting all these funny quick sponsors and media sponsors, because the big ones will not get to where their market is. So You understand? That's number one, performance. Number two is accountability and transparency. And that is why from the details that my good friend is sitting there right now, you can see that their power to spell out how the money should be disbursed. Fact check me, go and check most of the sponsorships in the world. Nobody does it. They give the money to the money, and they believe that the money is going to put the money where it's supposed to be. But look at what you just read now. They are just prescribing like doctors for the week for buying the final whistle, the players to get this amount, the club them, because they don't trust you with the money. Now I'm going to ask you and comment to and others. Go back and put money in the Nigerian Premier League. How did you pay? Komitoko is saying the bet Nigeria t-shirt there. Bet Nigeria put money in the Nigerian Premier League. How did you pay? I see one oil company sponsor our FA Cup. People of God, how did you pay? So I can go on. At the time, you are sponsoring our national athletics championship. People of God, how did you pay? So if your track record shows no transparency, no serious partner, no serious sponsor, no serious organization or entity, now go and put the money there because they will know that they are really enriching and not the athletes or the club or even the stadium or even the fans who obviously should be the non-beneficiary. So it's not about appealing to humanity. It's about doing the right things. Those people will naturally come. It's like sugar. Don't go and tell ants to come and be the golden sugar. What's the good sugar? They will ants from anywhere in the world will find their way to the sugar. Now the sugar, they will all start coming. So once we get our act right, more sponsors will come. And I hope the enemy understand what I've just said. That this thing they do to them is a trap. If they don't manage it well, better I want to pull out, the way others pull out. So if this is their last chance to get sponsorship, otherwise when the ACNNTV will sponsor them, by then we'll support them with prayers. You know, and you're going to pray at the church. So I think this is an important way to show that things will not be as before, and they have now maybe learned their previous lessons, and they do by that, do by grace, by so doing, their power might increase their sponsorship, both for the NNL and even the upgrade to the MPFL, and then other entities will also come into the field. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Edisiri Izu. We just want to encourage other persons to also join hands in making sure that our own is well taken care of and head of. You know, the Adidas and Nike that we are making reference to, they are non-Nigerian based organizations, and so there are other organizations who operate fully and who are domiciled in Nigeria. They should also take the advantage of sports promotion, and I bet you is a good business to do, especially when we understand sports management fully well. So, but let's hear from you. What do you have for us on the sports writers declare war on NFF over marginalization and mismanagement?
I think we've actually come of age. We've come to that time where we need to start putting things in perspective, and I think this is a right call at the right time, at the nick of time, because if you look at the current structure of the Nigerian Sports Administration now, that we have just NSC, no more Federal Ministry of Sports. You now have the National Sports Commission led by Diko, Mr. Diko, who himself is a seasoned sports lover, and you know, the NFF itself, for some of us, we've seen that place as, you know, as the bedroom or boardroom of people who are only there to, you know, to serve their own personal interest, not because they really love the sport or the game of football. Because for many years, the Sport Writers Association of Nigeria, which everybody knows as SWAN, they've actually been marginalized, they've been sidelined and being pushed aside, to the point that NFF actually gets to hire others who are not the Nigerian local media, not just SWAN, not just newspapers alone. Generally, our patronage of some of these government agencies to media in Nigeria, to local media in Nigeria, is not so encouraging. And when you have sport writers who oftentimes try to put everything on the line just to make sure that we have massive and enough coverage, but there is nothing there to actually incentivize, you know, as incentive to incentivize them so that they can be much more encouraged to do more. Then you have things like this. Many Nigerians don't really know that we play our Nigerian professional football league, NPFL, NNL, every now and then. As I speak to you, I think Kwara United will be playing against another African club in Abeokuta today. How many Nigerians are abreast of this information? But when you have refused to incentivize some of the stakeholders, some of the key players in the value chain of your local sports in the country, then you begin to you start to have things like this, and as such, you don't get maximum views and maximum patronage that we're expected to get. I think that's just my one set on that.
All right, thank you so much, Bolu. Comrade Abraham Soko, you know, the Sport Writers Association of Nigeria is the association that is in charge of all the sports reporting and coverage in Nigeria. And currently, they are saying that the current NFF has marginalized them, and there's poor management in the initial protocol that was on before. You know, when there's anything that has to do with sports, they are the first to be called on upon. But as it is now, events and activities go on, and nobody from the Sports Writers Association is engaged. And such cases like the qualification matches and what have you need media coverages at those events, but at the end of the day, you find out that it's not done as it's supposed to do. Instead, you find some persons as probably from the NFF or the National Sports Commission in the name or in under the umbrella of the media officer going to cover events such as that. So we want to get from you, Comrade Abraham Soko, what do you think about this whole thing? Is the so-called, or the word that the SWAN declared on NFF, is it valid? Is it something that should be pushed on, or should are you going to tell them to retreat from the war they want to wage against NFF?
First off, I would say it's a valid war declaration, and I would want to also state at this point that when we are talking about the disbursement of funds by the Bed Power to the NNL, I spoke about the media and advertisements, and because that is also a very, very critical sector when it comes to sports management or sports administration. If you go to established league like the English Premier League, you find out that the media is a very, very strong stakeholder in that particular league. There are rules, there are certified rules for the media. You have mandatory press conferences after matches, and when you don't even appear, you are fined. The media in these leagues are so powerful that they can actually put a lot of pressure on football managers, and sometimes this pressure will lead them to actually be sacked by their various clubs. So the point I'm trying to make is that in every league, the media advertisement is supposed to be a critical stakeholder when it comes to the management of that particular league. For a league to be established, for a league to be strong, for a league to have that exposure, the media, the sports writers, journalists have to play a major role. On the part of this one, I understand their grievances, I understand the issues of the issues that they are actually crying for. I actually understand it, but on their part, I think that they also have to find a way to make themselves relevant. For instance, we are in the social media age, by the grace of God. We see a lot of independent sports journalists doing very well on social media, on X. There's someone called Puja, so I actually follow him. He does very well independently. He's not affiliated to SWAN. It's not affiliated to some of these our associations. So on their part, I think that they have to actually find a way to actually play a better role. If Mr. Bodo made mention of trying to incentivize them. I think if I should get that English correct, if I should get that word correct, trying to actually give them funds to make it more attractive for them. But that is actually what is part of our problem in this country, because everybody is looking to get money. You understand? Everybody is looking to get their own share. Sometimes do your part, put yourself out there, So when the cry comes for you to get that money, to get your incentives, I believe that other people will actually rally to you and tell you that this body is trying. Why don't you encourage them? You understand? So as Mr. Otto is also at this point, go back to the admonition that Dr. Isu actually said that when sugar actually does not actually sugar naturally attracts ants. You understand? So if what you are promoting, what you are preaching, if it's actually sweet, everybody will want to rally with you, everybody will want to fight with you, everybody will want to call for your struggle. When it comes to swan, I did not even know that body is still in existence. So they have to actually find a way to put themselves out there. Thank you very much, Mr. Ebuka.
All right, thank you so much, Comrade Abraham Soko. Swan has been in existence ever since, and I think this year they are having their 60th anniversary, and it boils to government. It boils down to government because a whole lot of power has changed hands, and the swapping or changing of one regime to the other has equally affected the Sports Writers Association of Nigeria. But as it is now, they have stood their ground and said what has happened, and will no longer allow it to continue happening the way it has been happening. And we want to make corrections. We should take our place, our rightful place as Sports Writers Association, and we should be the just like NFF, who is superheading all the activities of the sporting activities in Nigeria. SWAN is superseding or overseeing the activities of all sports reporters in Nigeria, both writers and reporters, either by TV, by written media, or by radio media. And so I want to hear from you, Dr. Izu. What do you have to say about this whole issue with NFF and Nigerian Sports Commission against within SWAN, NFF, and Nigeria Sports Commission?
Okay, thank you. I'll just leverage on, I don't know, we're on different in different states, but Communitoko always finds a way to steal my thoughts, but it's fine. I want to align again what Communitoko has said, and just to portray it further. The battle between NFF and SWAN is the battle of two irresponsible or poorly run organizations. Now, so the point Dr. Communitoko made about being ready to drop benefits. Now, let me shock you. Do you know at the time, SWAN used to organize their own Footballer of the Year ceremony? They used to have their own recognition, right? They would have their own award ceremony. They would give Footballer of the Year, Administrator of the Year. They were that organized at the time. Even in let's see the Navy Premier League, for example, there are multiple Player of the Year awards at given. You have the PSA Player of the Year, which is the Professional Footballer Association Player of the Year. You have the Football Writers Association Player of the Year. You know my point? It's about how you value it. Now, let me go further, take it a bit further. This Ballon d'Or that we are all going about. Do you know if it's just one entity, French football, that does football writer and what's it called, Ballon d'Or? Before they used to have Ballon d'Or, we don't have French football, there was no ceremony. But they began to reinvent themselves. They began to market themselves, they began to do the right thing. Now, Ballon d'Or is so prestigious, everybody flies there to be present for the ceremony that is organized by just French football, not even the entire sports other the whole world. I don't even understand my point. It got so much that people had to even launch the Ballon d'Or at the time. So, the point I'm trying to make is, it is how you treat yourself that attracts value. If you disrespect yourself, if you undervalue yourself, others will naturally overvalue you, particularly the Nigerian system is donkey dog, where those are already there don't want more to come and join them. If, for example, government gives anything 200 million and only 5 will change, the more those 5 will get. If you want to bring more stakeholders, you know they will go to become less and less. So they need to spend out more and cut possible. But if you as the sports writer, don't forget, not just football writers, sport, the whole sport. If you make yourself relevant, there is no way you will be known. There is no way. So they need to go and repackage themselves. The sports writer, in the age of the media, politics everywhere, business, everybody wants to do in the media. If the sports writers come and say, you know what, NFL, we don't do this, we will not visit or cover any of the events. It has happened in law before. When the law reporter said they will do this because they are not getting this, and when some said they will call it as a no influence because you can't know a match and then nobody reports on the match again. Nobody is alive now. So they will call them. So the point I'm making, they should go and organize themselves because it is value that begets value. Now money will find money. If you organize yourself, no matter how it is, NFS know your work. They not be that's the reason for NFS. What is the NFS? I don't know Nigeria. Like the basketball federation. So the sports writers should also not just focus on football. They should make themselves relevant. One just organize themselves and also eliminate greed. Because let me tell you how this is work. If I know this greed is giving me trouble, I just take one of them. That one will help me conquer the rest. So even among the swans, they also have people among them who are selling them out. If ordinarily swans should get 5 slots in the board and just say screen hypothetically, and they pick one. Now, provided that one will not be one, they won't account down, please don't be as easy. Whereas because they are got in, doesn't want others to get in. So we should manage this thing in accordance with the constitution, in accordance with the law, what ought to be. In as much as we want to do that, one should also go and respect themselves. Look at the time, BBC was organizing BBC African Footballer of the Year Award. Okocha won it. Very won it. That is BBC. What they want to. So they have that power. They have to maximize that their work. They have the right to call it sports writers conference and invite people and get funding even after the NFS. NFS will give my own after them. So like the example that Commissioner gives, so they brand yourself. There is digital media, you don't need anybody's permission. They don't want to run outside and say, please, come. Now they have people having 1 hour dedicated shows, just like on the TV station, for sports. It's not like before they go and put sports in the back cover of the newspaper or 1.5 page. Now in some places, they have 5 pages for sports. So you have the truth, you have the yam and the line. Use it wisely, otherwise nobody will use it for you. So I don't blame them. If someone does not put it in order, you will take advantage of them. So they should all go and once you go and put the house in order, that gives them higher bargaining power. See Africa now. Instead of one country at the World Cup, it became in 94 25. Now we are 9 because we have increased our technical competence, we have increased our politics, we have increased everything. Now we have 9 guarantees here. We have 1 playoff slot. We have South America with 1 not guaranteed. So if you don't put yourself in order, nobody will take you serious. Like the voice once said, if you don't fight the fight, who will fight it for you? Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Izu, for that very interesting analysis there. For me, for one, I wanted to ask you, because it seems to me that the NFF is undermining the power of the pen. And after the whole crisis, they are trying to say that they would go into investigative journalism to bring fact as regards to maladministration. So should they have waited for this crisis to happen before you bring out issues of maladministration? You say you are boycotting all activities,
and even the HGA.
You get, and you forgot the fact that you have the pen, and it detects you as the holder of the pen, detect how the ink flows. So you ought to have done your investigative findings first before you accuse NFF for maladministration. So this is what I say. Rather than saying we would not do, they should have done it so that we have it as a headline. You get, so this becomes the beauty outside all that Dr. Izu have said. All right, Dr. Izu, still staying with you, I'm going to look into other issues. And one on the front burner we have is the 2025 World Athletic Championship. It actually ended on Sunday, the 21st of September. And it was indeed an electrifying competition that began since Saturday the 13th. Now we have the likes of the United States once again coming as a dominance force when it comes to global athletics, finishing top of the medal table with countries such as Kenya coming in the second place with 11 medals. America came up with 26 medals, Kenya with 11 medals, Jamaica followed closely with 10 medals, and then Italy, Netherlands, Germany, Canada, all of them recording strong outing. Now the big question is, where is Nigeria in all of this? But let me leave that to you and get your overall analysis of how the 2025 World Athletic Championship fared for us from this end.
So, in those days, I don't know now at least, when we were writing in English, they would say write an essay that ends with the matter than the sword. So you tell the story and then it goes deep to show that the pen is mightier than the sword. What am I saying? The last concluded World Athletic Championship comes to show that it is how you lay your bed, how you make your bed, that's how you can.
That's true.
So you can see that somebody said, what is luck? Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. Nigerians will always pray for divine favor. When the opportunity comes, you are not prepared for it. I don't need to understand it.
Yeah, we'll get your point.
So, how did you do it? It's communication was talking about peace. Peace is just one issue. My man was trying to know what the was saying. They were sending that Toby Amusa was being serious, and he was only opening the packs of the kids that they give that they are told them the kids to come in batches. So kids are arriving in batches that is an university admission. Then you get first batch, second batch, and third batch, and this in supplementary, as some people will call it. So we already say the level of disorganization. Now, the level of Okola, multiple demand to say that the kit company, not the production, the kit company promising government to athletes. Why should we the kit company promising bonus? I don't understand. Why should the kit company? Why not the federation? When there was no sponsor or there was no people did promise that there will be no incentive for the athletes. Now, again, how did the athletes get there? So, one of the power was still to say that I'm not doing no grateful. She requested for business class ticket. Business class should be online now. I have been to Japan before. It is a 13-hour flight from Addis Ababa to Japan. 13 hours from Addis Ababa, not from Nigeria, but the full direct flight from Nigeria to Japan, for example. So expect an athlete to sit in small economy classes. By the time they get there, they are already transformed. So is it a coincidence that the only athlete that flew business class to Japan is the only athlete that got the medal? That was this more statistics. Could it have been that if they get one athlete that kind of treatment, manage them, just saying, I'm not saying definitely, we need to give our chance of medal to the brighton. Now, to the next point, how many athletes in Nigeria take there? 15. The great Nigeria was absent from both reloads. Meanwhile, Nigeria is a very strong contender for reloads. At the time, Nigeria was not good for a medal from reloads. As long as they received 60,000, we have not reloads. What have what somebody now going at Olympics? How is it not a shame that Nigeria could not raise a team for the men 4x100 and women 4x100 or 4x400, or even the most great men and women? There are another opportunities missed. He went with me allegedly or reportedly. He went with no team official. That he was in Nigeria 413 million and see. His team athletes. As the people like where they injured and were supposed to win. You want to do it. If you want to watch him, you will do it. Now, that's on one thing. I think apart from the years that you have called, you must look closely. Look at countries like Botswana. Botswana beat US in the 4x400 years. The men. And they have declared the public of this. Now, go to the next moment and see how Botswana will because they are not saying that they are country less and respected. For one brand that the money because they are public to honor them. Look at that she's coming up. Jamaica, you already see how they perform. So that is our own going backward. We have the two families to go by one part. The right from now, they have to fly money. The Brazil, they have to fly money to Brazil to give the athletes. So why are we always like this? Look at our insurance. Look at the Japan. When the brother won in the Coca-Cola, not like that, they don't have to and it's that they will provide the position on their own that.
Now we have people hopefully who has gone to another country. That was also another medal for a hopeful. So we need to get our acts in order and not just be shouting luck or favor or God helping. We need to take care of player welfare. How do they train? There was a video of Toby Amusa running on Unilag track. Why should our athletes of that level be training in Unilag? It's a security risk. The facilities are not good. So now when they compare how those who get there, so you now have to rely on the strength, the mental strength or individual motivation of the athletes. Finally, if you look at those who went for the contingent, how many were raised in Nigeria? The boy who got to the 100 meter hurdles final. Now NCAA, that's now a national collegiate athletic discipline in the US that developed into what he is the NCAA champion. Toby Amusa, you already know how she got her story. Which one did Nigeria develop? Which one did we bring from scratch? We only wait for that country to develop for them. We remember that person's mother or grandmother is Nigerian. So in as much as I congratulate the US, I congratulate China, I congratulate Kenya for always doing us proud, and Jamaica, and even Botswana, you can see the number of African countries in the medal position have increased. This year there were 49 main countries on the medal table, almost the highest in history, because more countries are taking athletics and sports generally serious as a business, unlike us who take it as a fun or pleasure or inshallah, God help us. So I think we need to go beyond talking into actually doing. If they come back from something like this, why can the ministry not throw the AFF board to see how funds were disbursed, how funds were utilized, when they were released, and do some really introspection and then make heads roll? They know nothing will happen. The federal chairman was quarreling with the athletes because he knows nothing will happen. In a serious country, something would have happened. So I think we need to have actions. Actions will have consequences. If you perform poorly like in football, you are sacked. If you perform poorly, you go to the tournament and you don't get any medal, you are sacked. When they do that, they will sit up. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Izu, for that. Coming now to in-house analyst in the studio in person of Bolu. Bolu, what is your take? You heard all what Dr. Izu said as regards to the medal rankings when it comes to Nigeria athlete. He has spelled out so many factors that have led to this. So to you now, just say in 1 minute, what do you think, adding to what he has said, Nigeria can do better to get better performance in subsequent competition?
I think just to stress what he made mention of earlier, we just need to know to look at our sport administration in the country and just reshuffle it again and do better, because Nigerians are sport lovers and we cannot afford to keep having this rise and fall every now and then, and particularly football.
All right. Thank you so much, Bolu. All right, Comrade Soko, now coming to you. We will be looking at the Ballon d'Or award review. My uncle have already taken that baton from the earlier start of the sports show, with the likes of Dembele coming up to pick the trophy. He is, and just as my uncle earlier said, have gone through, do I call it a traumatic experience of injuries and everything, especially at the point where he is competing in a competition with the young lad, what's his name again? Lamin
Yamal.
Yes, you get all of these things, and then Billy came up to clinch this title. So, Comrade Soko, what is your take in all of this?
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Godwin. I wanted to speak to the World Championship, the World Athletics Championship a bit.
Okay.
But maybe we are short of time, so
please go ahead.
Go ahead.
So for this Ballon d'Or award, I think that I'm glad that it was not as controversial as the last was, the ones that have previously, because personally I felt that the Ballon d'Or was beginning to lose its reputation, and I felt that the build-up to the award, reports were coming in that Yamal had actually won. We had little controversies. I believe that this report will be verified, and I think it was unfounded because I felt that the deserved winner, which is Dembele, actually went on to win the award. And I would want to speak to the atmosphere of the award. If you look at the surrounding areas, the premises, you saw a lot of fans, a lot of French fans came. I've never seen such passion, such participation. If you actually look at it, had the atmosphere of the football stadium, there were flares, there were fireworks. So it was really a very exciting Ballon d'Or awards, and I think it actually adds to their credibility that they actually did the right thing this time. I was even scared. I was like, okay, let's assume that Yamal had gone on to actually win. I believe that there would have been riots because of the atmosphere that I said earlier. But I'm glad that the right thing was actually done. So it's a good one. Congratulations to Ousmane Dembele. His mother came on and she was really emotional, quiet, humble lady, and it was a really good one. And we also need to really lay credence to the fact. It's a really touching story because I felt that in previous seasons, Ousmane Dembele he had the potentials, but due to injury, he was not able to feature a lot. The last season was the only time that he really had a long stint of playing football, and he was able to actually contribute to the performances of his club PSG, and they actually almost won everything that you really had to win on that level. So it's a good one for Ousmane Dembele. It's a good one for Paris Saint-Germain, and it was a good, non-controversial awards. Thank you very much, Mr. Bobby.
All right, so comrade, you wanted to chip in something on the World Athletics Championship.
Okay.
So you can.
Thank you very much. Mr. Godwin actually described it as electrifying, but it was not electrifying for Nigerians. It was not electrifying for me. It was a complete show of shame for Nigerians. You know, one of the reasons why I'm proponent of subsidy removal is for us to actually free up funds for some of these critical sectors, and sports included. And by the grace of God, funds are beginning to actually come into this sector. The allocation for sports administration for 2025 in the budget alone, I think, was almost about 100 billion. And in that 100 billion, athletics got the equivalent of $2.2 million. Now you have just one major tournament for the year of 2025, which is this World Championship, World Athletics Championship. So are you saying that with a budget of $2.2 million, forget about the sponsors now, you cannot put up a reasonable performance? You cannot structure your administration properly. You cannot give them the kit. You cannot give them the adequate materials. Now you're talking about a business class that you flew Toby Amuso on a business class. What were you supposed to fly in? You understand? I think that these are things that we shouldn't be talking about. The contingent for the championship was only 22 officials, according to them. 15 athletes and 7 officials. Now, for 22 individuals, you could not give them the best or almost the best. As I said earlier, I saw the kit by USA, I saw the kit provided by the UK. I'm not saying that we should get to that level. That's not what I'm saying, because obviously they have more money, their budget is actually larger, they have PPP, more public-private partnership sponsors, they have more sponsors. But come on, I believe that we ought to get better. We ought to do better than what we provided these athletes. Look at it, you could not even give them a proper bag to actually kit this material, put this kit. You gave them a cellophane liner, and you're saying that the materials are going to come in badges. So it was a complete show of shame. And I'm glad that with social media exposure and everything, these people are beginning to speak out. I want to commend to Biamoso. She actually went on to win the silver medal for her category, and I want to commend her for having the courage to actually speak up, because these funds are valuable. I think what we have now is maladministration. It's not a matter, gone are the days where we're talking about funding. Now, what we have now is maladministration. So I believe that we actually need to do better. And I think I want to call for the officials that are in charge of our athletics to be probed, because we cannot continue on this path that we are on. I think it's a complete show of shame. So I don't want to go on and on because I'm actually really pissed at this stage. So I will just stop here. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Comrade Ibrahim Suku. But before we go, let's get your view, Dr. Idisiru Izu, your review on the Ballon d'Or award.
Okay, thank you. Komesoko has said much of what was to be said. We deserve winner one for the first time in a long time. Because last year when we saw it in the and the other one, the previous year, we also saw Lionel Messi winning the Ballon d'Or for 2 years based on 1 year's World Cup. So for the past 4, 5, or even more years, the actual winner of the Ballon d'Or has really not given. The last proper one was Benzema. So that way, everybody that Benzema did not win the that said, we want to commend the African contingent, Mohamed Salah who came fourth, and then Hakimi who came sixth. And that would also mean that this year the African Footballer of the Year, we're thinking the Hakimi was the governor otherwise. As it is now, Hakimi needs to go and pray hard, because since Salah came fourth, the whole win. And he's also a striker and attacking player. Salah might now be favorite. I also want to, the bringing to it emotional, reminds me of our own Cameroon who recovered from heart injury, heart surgery, valvular and issue with the heart, and rose to become the African Footballer of the Year in 1999. And then also went on to play more and more for Arsenal, won the FA Cup with Portsmouth and the rest of it. So it shows that we should never give up. When Nike done, what was it called? Nike said just do it, and John Cena says never give up. It's not just a slogan. It's what we should actually do in our lives. Resilience. Don't give up. Just keep at it. The Bible says there was a judge that did not fear God or man, but there was one woman that kept pressing his life every day. In God's time, the judge, we are waiting. So as humans in our everyday life, both in sports, church, marriage, our work, everything we do, keep at it like Dembele, and you never can tell. It's also a big story about family. You can see his mother supported him. There was one of his friends that was there that made Dembele cry, who kept believing in him that he did not the best in the world. And so as family, we should not raise our children in unnecessarily hostile or unnecessarily competitive toxic atmosphere. See your mate carry first, what you carry? Instead, see the best in the child, encourage the discipline everything, but always prep your child, instead of talking him or her down. Or after what I do for you, I will do lesson for you, you keep him fit. If you want to carry first, my poor you you are always feeling the morale of that child, even if it's ball, even if music, whatever that child is doing. We should be seen to support them. And the way the child will also shine, he will also be among the friends that he's going to bring on stage. See the bring and he bring his wife or girlfriend on stage, his mother that he brought on stage. So we as parents, we should do that. Finally, or thereabout, did you notice that over the last 2-3 years, Osime came 8 or so in the previous year. Ademola Lookman also came in a very good position last year. People of God, in top 30, you tell Nigerian there, whether Nigerian by birth, by adoption, by marriage, or anything. So again, you see that the world will not wait for you. So we must, as a people, continue to strive to remain at the top. Whereas you see that most times you see people from the same country, Egypt, Morocco, even if they are not in the top 10, they are somewhere in the top 25, 30 consistently. But Nigeria wants to shine 1-2 years, don't go back, don't backslide. We can't even sustain our own success. We finish show for 1 year and it fell off. I look my son for 1 year, they are falling off. Now there's no one who took the party. So as a country, we need to be more deliberate, more intentional about sports development, about getting to the top and learning how to stay at the top. As it is now, Cameroon is the only Nigeria who has won the African Footballer of the Year twice. The rest now one of the managing now, and that was all. So we don't have the habit or the track record of getting to the top and staying at the top. So that is what we as a country we also need to learn. And to the Ballon d'Or organizers, I want to commend them for everything that went smooth. And I hope going from here onward, we will continue to have such smooth things. Because as Soko said, if they really do not win that award, even before they pronounce the award, they were already chanting for Usman. And they were the all stars were also outside. So the Ballon d'Or should not wait to be threatened before doing the right thing. Otherwise, we will go to Nigeria. You know, we will do our own thing. We will give our award. So I think all said and done, I want to congratulate them for the special award and congratulate the game. And I hope it will also not be a flag in the pan. For Yamal, there's a lot for him to look up to. He has come second now. He has won the best young player in the year for 2 years in a row. But with the way he's going, you also need to call his excesses. We hear of him getting a point, an adult team star. You know, he has broken up to that one at such a young team. So all these distractions, he has to let go of them for him to get to the top. Otherwise, he may continue doing the 3 by 3, then you know, become one the bridesmaid and then he just follow. So for him to break from second to first, he has to go that extra mile like Cristiano Ronaldo, deny himself of some pleasures, and that way with the talent he already has, he might just be the top Ballon d'Or. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Desiri Izu, for your good analysis on the Ballon d'Or award. I also want to thank you for being part of the show today. We look forward to having you more on subsequent edition. Comrade Ibrahim Soko, we also want to say thank you for being on the show on today's edition, and until we come away again next time, please do grant us more of these opportunities. My co-anchor, your last word before we go.
Thank you so much, Ebuka, and I just want to say a very big thank you to our guest and also to our in-house analyst Bolu for sitting for this long to help us analyze issues.
All right, thank you so much, Bolu, and thank you, Mr. Godwin. Viewers, thank you for being on the show this morning. I'm Chukwe Bukaike, and until we come again on this airwave, please be passionate, stay positive, and keep the spirit of the game alive. Bye, and God bless you.